And we are two people. I'm Theresa Dickinson.
Dickinson.
And, oh, maybe I need this lower? Thank you.
Yeah, and before we jump off into some visuals, Theresa and I were both at the farm, and we were both dancing with Tumbleweed. And as I was sitting here listening to the great stories, I kept thinking, well, what Bonnie provided for me and my family, the Jones Company, was space to be, carry on in a lot of ways, she said. And talking with Frank, I was like, oh God, Frank, I can't find any of these images, but I'm a great storyteller. But then yesterday, you sent me those beautiful flyers from Tumbleweed. So I told Theresa she can jump up. Well, let's go. We're here though. Okay.
Is there some way that we manipulate them?
You can advance them.
Yeah. Well, that's these are the Jones Company was let's just it's there. Let's just do that. Okay.
We're both bad with this stuff.
Yeah. We're old broads. We're cute, but we're old broads.
Sure. Just tell me what to do and we'll do it.
If you want to advance it,
Just hit that. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's waiting for a cadet or bound for jail with all apologies to Samuel Beckett. But everybody in San Francisco came to the farm to see this show. They're like, what the hell? And it was a smashing success. And somebody said, you should really invite Samuel Beckett to come see this. I sent out some letters, but I only knew Paris, so he never made it quite to us. But yeah, that's Marilyn Jones and Lori Tanner. I was fancying myself as a director, and we had this amazing space. I keep thinking about where we were working, Theresa and I, and it was like the farm was humongous, I thought. And shall we move on here? Okay. My daughter, who grew up on the farm. Which way are we going?
Just press.
Press.
Just press. That's all you do is just press.
It ain't happening. Or it's going the other way. Runaway train.
Is it?
it's not intuitive.
Oh, okay. No, and
Okay, there.
yeah, and I'm gonna let Theresa jump in here now. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the reasons we're here together is together we comprise a living archive. We've been working together since 1973, and we still are.
Yeah.
It's Tumbleweed. Well, first of all, Neighborhood Arts Program, which is very important to mention. I don't know whether it's been mentioned as part of this situation, but Neighborhood Arts Program gave a lot of money to artists to teach classes and to perform and rehearse. It made a huge difference. And there were two people in particular who worked for Neighborhood Arts Program who were connected to the farm, Jack Davis and Jack Wickert. Jack Wickert ended up living at the farm. He and Bonnie lived there together. And that brings me to another thing that I really thought was important to mention. Everybody's been talking about anti-hierarchical. We were very anti-hierarchical. Tumbleweed was a collective. The farm was like a family. There were Jack and Bonnie who lived there, and there was the kitchen, and Jack cooked a lot. He cooked a whole lot. And there was always food to be eaten, and we were always sitting at tables and arguing at tables and eating Jack's food. It was a very warm and loving situation. As well as Tumbleweed and the Jones Company.
Which was a family. The Jones
An
Company.
actual family, yes.
Yes, we were an acting family.
And our children came into this too. Rhodessa's kid Sandra was there. Renee Yanez's kid Rio was there. My kid Dashiell, who is here now, was there. I mean, we were really familial, and that was how we related to each other. There was plenty of fighting, and there was plenty of loving. And we did a lot of work together and for each other. Later on, actually, post-farm, there was a lot of cross-fertilization too. And one of the things that I encountered when I taught at New College was many people who had been at the farm with me. Kush, Rhodessa, Renee Yanez. I'll stop there because I'm not being very good at remembering. But my point is that there's so much cross-connection and cross-fertilization that this wasn't just about an artist project about great pictures or great posters.
Yes.
We literally laid eggs in each other.
Yeah.
we really did work the gardens there, and that was very important to me. One of my funny experiences was I was assigned to weed some gardens on the side, and I'm weeding away on an alpine strawberry, which I liked very much and I felt good about. And Bonnie comes out and says, "Don't take out the weeds. Don't take out the weeds. They belong there." And I had never encountered that attitude before. I have since then. There's a lot of research now that says the plants like to be together, that they need each other in order to grow well. And I think she was right about that. But to tell you the truth, nowadays, there's a community garden there where we once had our gardens, and I do one of the community gardens. And in that community garden, I am constantly threatened with expulsion because I don't weed enough. You can't win, you know?
And my daughter, who grew up at the farm, I was talking, she lives in Texas now, and she was saying, "Mom, you just gotta make them see that there were animals, there was gardening to be done, and we were making theater all at the same time." She said, "As a kid, I was in this place where there would be animals to touch. We could pull weeds, we could act, we could sing, we could dance," and she was so, and she kept talking about Jack. She loved Jack Wicker.
Jack Wicker was so important to that whole situation. I don't know if Bonnie could have survived without his help, his, I don't know, familial, again, I'm going to keep saying that, support. He was this very warm person, and he would go and get truckloads of dirt and bring them in and unload them for our gardens. He would take care of the animals. He would help to build whatever needed to be built. He was just ready to do it. He was a musician.
Yes.
And a taxi driver. Many people were taxi drivers in those days.
And he had a houseboat. He lived on a houseboat.
Later on, he lived on a
at the end
houseboat.
of his life,
Yeah,
yes.
down here, you know, in the place where the UCSF stuff is, on Owen Street. But I want to go back to the dirt, because Tumbleweed is a dance company, and as a dancer, I care very much about the human body. And the actual contact, the physical contact, in fact, we ended up being what's called contact improvisers, if any of you know what that is. The need to be in touch with your body is the same as the need to be in touch with the earth. These elements were of the most crucial importance to our lives and made everything mean more. It made our lives more real and also more idealistic at the same time, if I can put it that way. You want to get in?
And you know, and this one, and Dashiell was just taking photographs. We were in New York, and you were very, very pregnant, and
With Dashiell.
With Dashiell, and I think it was the Cunningham studio, or
Oh yes, we were,
and the announcing person in the studio said, "Oh, let us put our hands together to welcome Tumbleweed. Is there a doctor in the house?" And she had gone into labor, and she was saying to me, "Can I do the show and then go to the hospital?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting ride." But no, that back to the body thing. It was just amazing.
I was actually very proud to be dancing pregnant. I wanted all those people in New York to see what a pregnant body could do. It meant a lot to me. Yeah. Woof, I agree. Woof, woof. The animals were so important too, and still are. Our collectivity was everything. You see us back and forth here, blah, 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 blah.
Well, that's what we decided to do. You know, because once I saw your flyers, I was like, "Oh my God, Teresa's got to be in on
Let's switch
this,
to another one.
in this conversation." Yeah.
That's not such a good one. There's a better one there. Let's get to one of the colored ones. A wonderful artist named Becky made these little horses, and we had a silver bus. We got those little horses painted on the side of the silver bus, and we drove it cross country. That was how we ended up in New York with me pregnant. That was the deal. And we went down Fifth Avenue in the bus, waving out the window to everybody. Dirty hippies, you know.
Well, it also brings to mind what Martha Graham said. You know, she said, people from California believe anything's possible. And we figured everybody was glad to see us in New York. Hi.
We were happy to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Oh,
better.
yes.
So, okay, another thing to mention, Neighborhood Arts Program sponsored all kinds of help for artists. And especially this poster that I have on my left, it might be on your left on the screen, the one with the mandala at the center, was made by a guy named Joe Ramos. And he was an artist who was just there available 7 days or 5 days a week near the printing press. And you would go into him and you'd say, I need a poster, can you make me a poster? And he would come out with these glorious, beautiful posters, and for free. It was really great. And I heard people talking earlier about how things had gotten lost from the web. Well, guess what? I have piles of posters. They still exist. So,
And there's Tumbleweed, hard-headed
yeah,
women
this is
bouncing off a
Tumbleweed.
concrete.
Oh, yeah, one other thing. Part of the idea of Tumbleweed was that if dancing happened everywhere, like the way music happens all over the place, you know, you walk into an elevator and there's music, or you go past a boombox and there's music. My idea was that if we were dancing any old where, everywhere, people would start to like it better. They would understand it better and feel more about it. So Tumbleweed just danced everywhere, every day. We would go out and perform in the city.
In the streets of
Every-
downtown San Francisco.
Anywhere,
Yeah.
you name it, we were there.
Yeah.
So at one point, somebody did a survey of performing dance companies in San Francisco, and of course, it turned out that Tumbleweed performed more than anybody else,
Yeah.
but not for money. So, okay,
Okay.
we must be
Yeah,
through with ours.
yeah. I just want to say about the thing that I'm most proud of about the Jones Company was that they were babies. They were like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And I remember my brothers and sisters left. Bill T. Jones is one of my brothers. And he and Arnie went back to New York. My brother Azel went on to work in finance. But I kept this company, and I remember the kids coming in, everybody was spun out on The Exorcist, right? The kids are all spun out on this. And I was thinking, how do I mix the movie The Exorcist with the death of Stephen Biko in South Africa? Because all that was happening. How did I bring the exorcism, the magic of exorcism, the prayers, and put it on these children? I mean, I had a political theater of kids who were like, most of them weren't 10 years old, and I made a piece for them, and it was entitled Storm Over Rhodesia. Cubans trained blacks to fight in South Africa. What you doing? And we would be downtown San Francisco. The kids would just be confronting people. And the other one was with my baby on my back and a gun in my hand. Yes, I can. And people were like, who are these children? And they were dancing, cartwheeling in San Francisco and making political theater. You know, and that was, Bonnie afforded us that with the farm. Anything was possible at the farm. Yeah.
I'm going to extend that one place further, which is that nowadays, Rhodessa is running a group called the Medea Project for Incarcerated Women. I work with the Medea Project too. So you see, it's been 60 years or somewhere nearly 60 years of collaboration going on there. And the Medea Project is a very political work. And in fact, we just came back from a performance this afternoon at the Southeast Bayview Community Center, outdoors, on muddy grass. And we have another performance coming up in June at the Bayview Opera House, and we're giving workshops between now and then on Saturdays. If any of you know anybody who would like to take workshops that are part of taking you better say what the workshops are.
The workshops are a conglomerate of the people in the community and us as a theater company working. Right now we're looking at the discrepancies behind healthcare, how black and brown women are not being treated as they should be. And we want to put this out in the community. We want women to tell us their stories, because that's what I do. I get incarcerated women. I worked in Africa. I get women to tell their stories about who they are and what happened to them, and we put it to music and movement. And that's what the workshop's going to be, and it's entitled "The Maze" because we're going to be using the myth.
The myth of the Minotaur.
Yes, as part of the whole look at the inequities of the medical system. So please, and we begin next on the 16th.
Next Saturday.
Yes, we'll be having
11 o'clock, Bayview Opera House. Be there.
Yes, and so I'm
Free workshops.
It's all free. We've been sponsored to do it. So please let me know if you're interested. And as he said, I'm going to stop there.